Hi, good morning. We're here with Tom Sanderson from Kineon. How you doing, Tom?
Hey Mike, good morning. I'm doing really well, thank you. Been to the gym this morning, feeling good. Done the
Excellent.
meditation, ready for action, ready for Friday.
Great start to the day. Brilliant. So let's just kick things off then. And if you'd like to tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, and how long you've been doing it for, please.
Okay, great. So obviously called Tom, based currently in the north of England, and with my family. We launched a product about 2.5 years ago. We started thinking of a product 2.5 years ago. We wanted to bring a product to market that actually had a positive impact on the world, not just another widget to have around the house. And so and also it had to be a physical product, and we wanted it to be highly scalable e-commerce style product. So I've actually spent the last 10 years living and working in China. I started a film production company over there with my brother, one of my brothers, and
Okay.
say again.
I said, okay, that's
Yeah.
10 years in China, film production one side, and then come in here with your gadget.
Yeah, that's it. So the film production was pretty amazing because it was I'd had a couple of companies in the UK in property and things like that before going to China in my mid-20s, but the chaos of China, setting up a film production company in an industry we didn't know, in a country we didn't know, was really quite brave and a little bit stupid, really. But we made productions for some of the biggest brands in the world: HSBC, Huawei, Audi, a bunch of brands like this. And we also filmed one of China's biggest rock stars and traveled with him for about 2.5 years throughout all his shows around China, Australia. We filmed in America, in Germany, all around the world for Chinese brands and European and Western brands in China. So it was a really cool experience. When we got back to the UK, we decided that we wanted to set up a different type of product, a different type of company that was more scalable. And that's why we came up with the product that we developed.
Okay, brilliant. Do you want to go into a bit more detail on the product?
Yeah. So what it is it's a neuromuscular therapy device. So essentially, it's using the latest in LED and laser technology. So it comes as a package like this. It's 3 little modules there. So we all know people with painful knees, painful elbows or wrists through either physical injuries or through your own personal injuries, or just through life's wear and tear. And so this laser and light therapy, or red light therapy, or photobiomodulation as it's called, but it's a bit more of a mouthful, has been around for the last few decades predominantly, but even longer than that in terms of the research and studies. But the therapy, because it uses lasers and LEDs, the cost to have that has been very expensive for the last 20 years. Now, with the economies of scale, inside every iPhone, there's lasers tracking information. Inside every single CCTV camera, there's LEDs and lasers used in those. So the cost of that production has come down. And my business partner, Forrest, who I met through China, American chap, amazing guy, loves going to the rabbit holes and the depths of discussions with both the technology, the science side of it, but also the medical side of it. And he has been working in LED and laser for the last 10-15 years in China. So we met through our collaborative experiences in China. And what you have here is, you can see just inside there, you've got the 4 bigger squares. Those are the LEDs. 5 little guys are lasers. So in each one of those, you've got 10 lasers and 8 LEDs. So that's a lot of lasers and LEDs in all those. And the beauty is, you turn one on, and usually at this point in the demo, it doesn't work, but that you turn one on and they all turn on. And those you would just attach onto your body, wherever it is, your wrist, do it often on our necks, but it comes with I'll just show you into here as well. In the top of there, it's got a little strap, and then that you would just nicely clip your modules in, and you'd pop it onto your knee or your elbow or wherever it is that it's hurting. Now, at the front of it, you think, what the hell's light going to do to fix any part of my body? Crazy information, but the science is unequivocal on it. That there's over 6,000 studies done in the last few years, both clinical trials and human trials and animal trials. And it really, really works for arthritis or any kind of inflammation. So we're getting messages from people all around the world who are using this device, and people I've never heard of, people I've never met, people I'm probably never going to meet, saying, I bought it for my knee, but my wife's used it and now she's walking without needing a stick, or I'm able to run with my son again, or I've slept for the first time in 2 years without pain in my knees. And when you get messages like that, it's amazing.
Fantastic. Game changer. So you a couple of years, you say, going with that product at the moment. So what was the biggest impact of the pandemic for you? Was it something that changed it for the better, or for the work? What kind of impact did that have for you guys?
So I think it's a great question, and there's two aspects to that which I can answer. So we started thinking about this product 2.5 years ago, and it took us about a year to get samples together. We thought we could do it in 6 months, but it took us about a year to 16 months really to get the prototypes going, things like that. This time last year, we actually launched on crowdfunding. So for anybody that doesn't know, crowdfunding is an amazing place to validate your product and to then get funding for your product and build a strong community. We've spent a lot of time in that space to make sure we've got a really powerful community. And so we actually launched crowdfunding a year ago. We didn't start shipping the product until September this year, so only 2.5 months. And we've shipped 3,000 units in the space of 2 months. You go through a baptism of fire about learning about all your systems through that, all your processes. But to go to your question about the impact of COVID, obviously during our preparation time was the middle of COVID. So one positive was we were forced to be at home. So I sat in the computer researching lots of calls, communication with factories and speaking to our audience and things like really getting to know the potential audience, the potential technology, and the potential partners we could work with. So that was actually a relative positive. The bit that really hit us with COVID was that we launched in the October last year, our crowdfunding. We finished the crowdfunding in December. At that point, COVID had settled substantially, and then two things happened. One, COVID raised its head massively again in China, having been very quiet in China. That immediately closed all our factories, all our production prototyping processes. It had a huge impact on us. And then 2 months later, the war in the Ukraine started. And microchips, like the microchip that we'd spent the last 6 to 8 months putting all this effort into and everything, was made or partially made in Ukraine, or the parts came from it. So we had to do a last minute change from that, which had a knock-on effect of every single component. So the COVID and the war in Ukraine it basically delayed our shipping by at least 6 months, if not 8 months from the day we had. And for any business, especially a startup, when you're on a shoestring budget, that's massively challenging. And I think one thing, hopefully you'll be interested, or hopefully anybody that does listen to this will be interested here, is that I think that what I said at the start about the benefit of the crowdfunding, but the most important bit was a community. By focusing very, very, very early on the community, getting a Facebook group together, talking with people, asking them what they want, getting on calls like this. We got on over 100 calls, one-to-one calls with people, which takes time, it takes effort. There's a lot goes into that. But by having that strong community, when we had the challenges like COVID, like the Ukraine war, we were able to lean on the community and say, this is our honest situation. Thanks for supporting us. What can we do to help you now? Is there anything, can we get on a call? And they helped us as much as we helped them get through that period. And now, as I say, we're getting, every day on Trustpilot, we're getting 4 and 5-star reviews of people from around the world. So I think it was 2 this morning. It's here in the UK, it's only 9 a.m. or something, 10 a.m. We've already had 2 come in, and we're a small company, so 2 for us is huge.
Excellent. That's a good share on that in terms of building a community and being honest with them and building that trust. Yeah, it's a great foundation for any business. Good. So what does the future look like for you at the moment then, and what do you see as the main challenges going ahead?
Great question. Like all small businesses, the challenges are you want to do a lot with the resources you have. And you know, in the last 12 months, we've been really fortunate, or we've worked our asses off, but we've been really fortunate we've sold 3,000 units worldwide. We sold over $1 million of product within the first 12 months, which is wonderful from a business that started off with its own, you know, scratching around in the dirt, more or less. We now have signed on some of the biggest CrossFit athletes in the world, and more on the fringes wanting to join. Some are MMA, some UFC guys. So we're starting to find our voice. And I mean, our mission statement is to positively impact the largest number of people in the most meaningful way. And we want to do that by getting the message out to people. We want the product to work for people and get the results. So in the next sort of 6 to 12 months, our goal is to solidify our core team. We've got 16 to 20 people worldwide working at various levels within the company. And it's to solidify our systems and processes so that we can scale and actually communicate these really positive messages that are people getting results with to more people, to help them understand that they don't have to endure this pain. And it's not a magic pill. We're not selling it as a magic pill. We have a 30-day guarantee, money back guarantee. If they don't get results, they need to jump on a call with us or let us talk through their pathology and how they're using it, but we will give you money back. It's money makes the world go round, in terms of you can reinvest it to do better things, but the goal isn't just an end goal of money. So I think that for us, it's our core is streamlining our messaging and streamlining how we repeat the successes that our community are getting back to other people to have their results and breakthroughs as well.
Cool, thank you for that. So moving on to yourself as a business owner, obviously I can see you're very passionate and you've had a history of doing various, I suppose, entrepreneurial activities. If you can pick one learning out of all that to date, or maybe two, there might be quite a few, but yeah, 1 or 2 learnings that would say your biggest to date on your journey so far?
Yeah, great question for all aspiring entrepreneurs or business owners or people considering going down those paths. I think there's 2 things. One is choose what you want to do, carefully, really think about it. Don't just run in with, oh, that's a good money making scheme, let me do that. I think that it can work for sure for some people, but the biggest challenge of running any business is, from the outside everything looks easy. Once you get in it, there's a trudge work, there's a trench you have to dig, and that needs to be done through passion, not just through pure grit, although the hustle and grind is part of the process. So choose what you love to do, because if you're doing something you love, that digging the trench all of a sudden doesn't feel like that. It feels like, oh, this is hard, but I'm enjoying it, I can get through it. And the second thing is, I think that choosing to work with good people around you, whether that's a business partner or, you know, a great coach. I'm a big advocate of having coach and support and mentors in your life, whether that's a one-to-one or just you're listening to the right podcast, you're listening to the right YouTube videos, just to get on the days when it's tough, it's really tough, and to get you through those days, because the only people that don't succeed are the ones that stop. And that stopping sometimes is a good answer, it's a good solution. And what success is defined as in this world these days is not, you know, it's not about the money. The money's a byproduct of the service and the value that you add and bring to the world. So do something you love and work hard.
Good advice. Thank you very much. So if you were to go back in time and meet yourself at 18, what would you give as the best piece of advice to Tom at 18?
Oh, that's a really good question. Say no more often, I think, would be probably, you know, a short, simple response to that. But I think probably I think it's around money. I think that especially now, the hardest thing I think we see is you turn on Instagram or you turn on whatever, and it's like, you know, start your business and in 30 days you could be earning X amount a month. And yes, those things do happen, and yes, those things are available. Predominantly of the time, that is not the case. Setting up a successful business or setting up something you enjoyed, success, you know, for some people earning few grand a month is perfect. For others, it has to be tens and tens of thousands. So successes are defined as to what you want to make it definition as. But I think that the advice for an 18-year-old is try to be true to yourself and think of yourself, what you actually really need and want, and slow things down just a little bit more. Don't rush into everything.
Yeah, definite patience is key.
Yeah, and I think that the values with the world, that's patience is key, and everything in the world is trying to pull you out of that. Instagram, what's it said? Slack, Instagram, Facebook, all this, and they're really good. They're fantastic. They're really good. But for me, it would be try to get into meditation. For an 18-year-old, if you want to fly and do everything you can do, that's great. Do it. But one thing is do meditation as well.
Yeah. Calm it down. Yeah. And it will come. Don't worry too much about the how, just concentrate on your destination kind of thing.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you. So what inspires you to do what you do? Is there anything you mentioned about books, podcasts, stuff like that? Or it could be the people that you work with, your clients, your customers, friends, family, anything like that you use as inspiration to do what you do?
The team we've built is a huge inspiration. We work really hard with the team to set up the systems and processes. We work really hard in the recruitment side of things. And my business partner, Forrest, he's an inspiring chap, very, very well read and passionate about, as I say, the technology and also the health side of it. And I think that we are driven by the desire to really help people. Both of us could have done, we could launch any sort of random plastic product that you can see laying around, and that would have been an easy win, and probably we've been going 2.5 years, and I can guarantee that my bank balance isn't growing as a result of those 2.5 years, but in time it will do. So personally, I'm not in a necessarily a better position now than I was 2.5 years ago. In fact, I'm definitely not, but I'm okay with that. And we chose to do something that really mattered to us. And so I think that's a key thing that inspires us. And as I mentioned, getting those emails and messages from people all around the world. But also just, I'm a young dad. I've got a 4-year-old daughter. I've got a 6-month-old son. That sort of thing motivates me and inspires me to keep going and the darker, colder nights in the north of England, keep the wheels moving. But not everybody has children, and people without children don't necessarily relate to that. And I understand why. But I think that, again, it's like you mentioned, get that podcast, get the 2 podcasts you like, or go to meetings where you can connect with people that inspire you and give you some shining light, even if you don't know what it is you're doing, even if you feel totally lost, even if your business is going down the toilet. Still keep doing those things, because you gain strength from having that around, and that you take that strength with you. That's yours forever.
Definitely. Building resilience is a good strength to have. Good share. Thank you very much. And then lastly, is there any kind of offers or latest news around the business that you'd like to share?
Yeah, so we would like to offer for Action Coach a 10% discount on our products. So if you go to our website, and maybe in the bottom of here, there's a link, or wherever this is posted, there'll be a link upstairs, downstairs, somewhere. But just type in to our website, Action Coach, and you'll get 10% discount off the product. Also, if anybody does have specific pathologies, injuries, and things like that they're struggling with, and they'd like to jump on a call either with me or with one of my team or the scientific advisory board, I'd like to offer your community the opportunity to do that. So just reach out to us either through LinkedIn or through you guys or social media.
Brilliant. Thanks, Tom. Most appreciated. We'll share that out.
No, you're welcome.
Been great talking to you. All the best with it. And I hope it goes from strength to strength over the next few years. And catch up with you soon. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thanks, Mike. Have a great day.